So we're going to do this one next, Winter Wishes, and it's lovely because we've got like that two metallic look going on, silver and gold. Now there was a time when it was never in to mix your metallics together, but I think it works really, really well with this. I think it's a very subtle, very soft cardstock. It's very pretty. And what we've done is used that snowflake die and cut it into the cardstock. You can fold it back and snip it out, but what a beautiful card. Quick, simple, but incredibly elegant. So if that's the kind of look that you're looking for Christmas 2021, then this is definitely the card for you. So I'm going to pop that to one side and we're going to bring in the pieces that we've already cut. So we've got our card blank, and then you've got this beautiful soft shimmer gold, which is lovely. And talking to Stephanie last week, we're looking at bringing out a whole range of USBs that have the look of speciality paper. So we did the glitter ones last week, which were just phenomenal. And we're going to try and build up a whole core range for you so that instead of spending a lot of money on speciality cardstock, you can print your own, which is just fabulous. And I love that about working with Stephanie. She's always thinking about the next thing and how we can make it better and more cost effective for the crafters. She's just brilliant. Right, so we've got the grey on there and we've lifted that up slightly because there isn't a lot going on the front. We're adding more interest by adding those depth of those layers in. And then you can see here we've got this beautiful snowflake. Now if you cut there and there, it would actually cut that part away, so you'd have it as an edger. Really, really, really pretty. But for this we're going to keep it in place. All right, so we've used some really thick foam pads behind this to build up the height, but again, it's entirely up to you, depending on whether you're gifting it, posting it, you know, hand delivering it, whatever you're doing, you decide how thick you want your foam to be. All right, I am going to put a little bit of wet glue on there because it's right across the square and I'm positioning it. I don't want this side to drop and hit the card and stick to it before I've got the other bits in place. So I do this quite a lot. I'm good at getting things straight, but maybe not quite first time. So I'm aware of my own capabilities and I adjust what I do to match those capabilities. So let's now hold this in place. And you might want to stand up to do this so that you can see right over the top. And then just press that down and that will give you that little bit of wiggle room to just pop that into place. Okay, great. Right, snowflake next. So we've got the solid snowflake and we're going to position this here. You could have it over here if you wanted to, but I think it works quite nicely. And we've chosen the white as the background because we've got the white card base. So it's bringing the white from here and bringing it into here, and it will push everything else forward, so that's lovely too. Now we've got tape on here. I think I would actually be tempted to use some glue gel because I'm going to have to press that down quite firmly to get that to stick on there, whereas if I use glue gel, the glue gel's going to grab, and I'm actually going to put some glue gel through that aperture there like that, so that it supports underneath that snowflake. And I'm going to position that straight on that card like that. So the foam tape will do a little bit of the work, but I've also underpinned it, if you like, just to give it a little bit more of a foundation. Okay, so I'm happy with that. To put my lid back on there, then that doesn't dry out. Now we've got the actual snowflake itself and we've cut it out of the gold metallic and the silver. And I just want to show you the thought process of me doing this next bit. So we've got the silver snowflake. If I put that on there, it kind of sinks in, even though we've got the white, because the silver is here. Okay, so it's quite close to there, so it's not as prominent. So if you want a more subtle look, put your silver one down first. If you want it to stand out a little bit and you want to bring the gold in a little bit more, you can put the gold one down first, and you can see the difference that makes. So I'm going to go for gold first, and then I'm going to offset the silver one. Now you can put it directly on top of each other, but what's the point? Because you're just covering one over. So you can then offset this one slightly. All right, so decide what style and look you like and work around that. And I'm just going to put some wet glue behind here like so. Okay, remember this centre bit is going to be kind of covered over by the silver one as well, so I'm not too worried about some of the glue peeping through. And I'm going to position that one, and again, just make sure that you've got it in the right position. And I'm not worried about the fact that these are standing proud, because I don't necessarily want that stuck down flat. I want those little fronds to just be raised a little bit. It gives it a little bit more lift, because this is quite flat because it stayed in the cardstock. I want something to give it a little bit of lift. And then on this one, I'm going to use my Pinflair glue gel, and I'm just going to put a little blob in between those little areas there, just so that it lifts it slightly, not too much, but just enough to then be able to position that on top of there like so. Okay, and then we're just going to press that down like that. Oh. Okay, so that's then the main side of our card. Then we've got our sentiment. So I'm going to pop that out of the way to just start drying. We've got the white again, which reflects with the white of the snowflake foundation. And then we've got our gold and our silver. So I'm going to create a drop shadow with the gold and pop the silver on top. So I'm creating the gold is going to be that first base, just like it was with the snowflake. And I am going to put glue on my hand. And I know some of you won't like doing this, and that's fine. You can put it on your mat if you want to, but I just find I've patch tested, it's fine, and it works for me. So it's up to you, whichever way you decide to do it. So I'm going to line this up so it fits perfectly on top of here. Now a top tip, because these packs are prepared for us by our creative team, they're not always thinking about which, I wouldn't put foam tape on until I'd done this bit, because it's quite difficult to press it down. So lift it up and press it down, but you'll do it in the right order. And then I'm going to put this onto here. And then I'm just going to hover so it's lined up completely. I'm going to lift it up actually and do it in my hands because it's easier. Line it up so it's completely over, and then I just move it slightly to the right. And that just allows that gold to just peep through from behind the silver and add that extra little gold flash in. So it's bringing again the white from the card base, the gold from the first mat, and then in here. Now you can line that up there, you could have it down here, you could have it up here, you could even have it in there, although that's a little bit busy. But I'll do what we've done. Actually, I'm going to put it at the bottom. I do this all the time. I'm going to do this and then I change my mind instantly. I'm going to pop that at the bottom on here so you can see a different layout. And then with the excess glue that I've got left over on my hand, I've just got some little snowflakes, and I'm just going to position these here like this. Now normally I would absolutely lay these down first and then decide where I wanted them before I glued them, but you know what, we're just going to go for it, because sometimes you can overthink it, and if you just do it instead of overthinking it, because the thought is always worse than the reality, you can just, I'm going to pop another one there to balance that. There, just peeping from behind there. And then I've got these little teeny tiny ones that are just going to pop in between there. And I might bring one down here just to balance that out. And then you could pop some little pearls or little gems just in between there, and you have a beautiful card. So this is the original one at the top there. And then you've got the one that's just got the slightly different. So you've got the snowflake that's offset a little bit more, and you've got the sentiment at the bottom. I like the snowflake offset. I think it brings out that gold a little bit more. And I think because this is quite a solid piece of card, it needs that gold to be brought into it. So I think that works really nicely. But again, it's up to you. It's your Christmas.